Happy 4th of July. We're gonna crack some packs of Amonkhet and see what happens. It's me, and the Wookiee. Ready to enjoy? Let's see what we can come up with here. Alright. Let's get to the fun stuff. Gate to the Afterlife. I've seen the God Pharaoh's Gift, and that is going to be a cool card. Returning tapped creatures is always a benefit. I love the Trials, and Gideon's Intervention is the rare. Sideboard card. What's up, man? You got any cards in that pack or what?
Alright, so
What the heck are you
apparently we go right past the
making
uncommons.
videos.
Making videos.
This is Becky. She's going to be here to criticize our critique of the cards. She's been a pro for about 13 years now, playing on the Pro Tour Europe, right?
Yeah.
Yes. She doesn't like to admit it. She made a lot of money that way. Alright, so we got some uncommons here to start with. Faith of the Devoted. Good old cycling, of course, when that comes in. And if you're in a multiplayer, that's going to help you with the life. The Shafet Monitor. 5 colorless and a green. Back to the cycling. When you cycle it, you can... Oh, Becky's critiquing my card reading already.
Why don't you take a mighty leap, huh?
Hi.
Hey, do you want to get on this video? All you got to do is put your face in the camera and then you're on the video.
It's going on YouTube.
Yeah, it's going on YouTube. Then we'll give you part of the profits. You can be in on the profits.
She's being an ancient crab.
Alright, cycling. Now, we always like to get the land or desert cards out. Quite
Deserts
cool.
are big in our Devastation. Some cool combo stuff coming.
The Edifice of Authority. You know, we like to shut down opponents' creatures. Always a nice option. I don't really run it, but good card.
These three go together. Hapatra, the Forest, and the Zombie token. I'm going to do some green and black and try to make that zombie work, but -1/-1
Good
counter.
old Sheltered Thicket. Land. Now, we've come across a lot of these. We really think there's a use for these in basically every deck you're going to make.
They're in
So,
every pack.
I would keep them.
I don't get it. I think what it is there's one in every pack, so at a 1/15 ratio, you do the same for your deck. So if you have a standard 60 card deck, I think that's 5 lands, 1 every 15. So that gets you playing pretty well, and you're ready to go with anybody. Alright, Spidery Grasp. You notice a lot of the same themes across a lot of sets, and it's very interesting when you can stack those abilities in Legacy or Modern, whereas in Standard you don't get so much of the, you know, the chance to do that with the counter spells and the things like that. That's why, of course, the older formats are so much more powerful. As I'm learning, and as I've said in my playing of the Magic the Gathering online.
See, I still, you know, when you use a set and you actually use a block and you take your time to build a deck, I think you can be just as powerful as some of the old decks that people play, because I think they rely too much on just card value and card name, and they get lazy. But when you have a, you know, nice
Net deck.
You know,
When you have a nice net deck?
no, a nice deck that you've honed and put some time into.
Oh, look, you've read a few different ones on eBay before you purchase the deck that you want to buy. I get you. Cartouches. Love the cartouches. Love the Fan Bearer. Final reward. Exile a target creature. Great draft card.
Good old Sunscorched Desert. Like to do a point of damage for my mana for free. Nice.
I'm not a big fan of the monuments that reduce your cost by 1, but actually they seem to be a blue-white monument deck that is gaining some steam off the net deck.
Got the good old time to reflect. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a staple, and obviously this staple whole white-black zombie thing that's kind of getting somewhat boringly predictable.
Hey, did you steal my Hapatra?
Either way, it's there. Yeah, it's over there.
Where?
Don't worry about it.
Dude, I said you could open some packs, not steal stuff. I know your decks need help.
Got a Cryptic Serpent. You know, good old blue late game card. I'm not the biggest fan of playing the slow-ass blue control, but I can see it. But...
Green black, Hapatra. Hapatra and Hippos. Sure, that should work together.
So we got Spring to Mind. Search your library for a land, front of the battlefield tapped, never a problem, always enjoy that. And if you somehow have 6 mana sitting around, you know, later, have fun with this, you know, not bad, but blue-green I'd like to be a little more, I don't know, it's got its uses if you're lasting that long, but if you're lasting that long, you're probably having your own issues anyways.
Foils are cool. If you want to invest, do it in foils. Sparring money.
As foretold, at the beginning of your upkeep, put a time counter on it. Once each turn, you can pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost for a spell you cast with converted mana cost X or less, where X is the number of time counters on it. Who does not like casting for free? We all do. Great card.
Trials. Trials and cartouches, man. So much fun. Cut to ribbons. Phenomenal draft card. Love the full art lands. Hope they continue to go with this. Cycling. Cycling in Legacy is going to get a lot funner. I picked up some of those cards that reduce your cycling cost. Give you some efficiency and actual chance to use them.
The Manglehorn. You know what? Nothing wrong with the bonus of destroying a permanent. 6 artifacts, but there's enough artifacts around that actually this has some pretty good value for it. It's only 3 for a 2/2. And when you can, you know, give their artifacts a little bit of, you know, slow them down a bit, not a bad card. Not specifically a sideboard card. I wouldn't see a problem running this. 3 for the 2/2 cost is definitely manageable as well. Oh, the Lord of the Accursed. Back to my favorite good old zombie theme. Not much to say here. I'm sure you've all become familiar with the zombies and the whole facade going on with them, but you can't really get much. You know, this guy's a pretty solid card in their form. You know, you Metas, they're all pumping them all. 3 for a 2/3 on its own is solid and doable. I'm not going to draft this guy. I'm going to let somebody else try and swing for that zombie deck in a draft, but I'll build them with them. The Crocodile of the Crossing. I would not want to run into this guy. Haste and that -1 counter on a creature you control. I think you can find ways to deal with that and make this guy do some damage for you. Hazaret's Favor. At the beginning of combat in your turn, you may have target creature you control get +2/0 and gain haste. If you do, sacrifice at the beginning of the end step. It's got its uses, obviously, and if you're red, you're looking for speed and you're looking to punch through pretty fast, so you know you don't mind losing that creature if you have to. So it goes. In the right deck, this is definitely going to help you speed up your whole game purpose of your deck.
Swamp.
Full land swamp. We dig those with the zombie.
Protection of the
Who lives
Heckma.
here?
This card is very safe because I won't use it. Stir the Sands, making the zombie tokens. Love that. Where'd you go with the Lord of the Accursed?
I slid him over there somewhere.
The Honored Crop Captain. I'm doing red-white vehicles for Commander. I think that could be useful whenever it attacks. Other attacking creatures get 1/0 because I'm trying to make it kind of aggressive, vehicle aggressive. Prepare to fight, untap a creature, 2/2 and lifelink. I prefer indestructible, but I'll take the 2/2 lifelink. You know, cats are a big deal, buddy.
You know what I love about simple commons and the counter spells, counter target creature spell? Have you ever drawn this card and thought, that's the wrong card, I'll never use it? It's typically gonna be a card you don't regret drawing.
Well, but when it's counter target creature and they don't have a lot of creatures, you can sit in your hand for a while. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Open into Wonder. X, target creatures can't be blocked this turn. Until the end of turn, those creatures gain whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. As we know, drawing cards, quite nice. You know, you can swing this turn 4 or 5, get through if you get, you know, 2 creatures out of it. You're drawing cards, you're getting through with your creatures for some damage. Quite the useful card
Blue-green,
for blue.
ramp. By force, destroy X target artifacts. Not only did they ban either works, they've just decided that artifacts, sideboard. Crocodile of the Crossing still hanging out, giving out the -1/-1 counters, but again with the Patra I can make that work. Seraph for the Sun, 7 for the 4/4 flying indestructible. 7's expensive, but for drafting, worthwhile. Pull from tomorrow, draw X cards, then discard a card. Powerful. I am not familiar with how to use it or what works with it, but I probably should be.
Grim Strider, not bad. You know, comes out 4 for the 6/6. You get -1 for each card in your hand. You know, most of the time, unless you got something specific going here, I'll pass. Lay Claim. Claim, everyone's favorite statement. 5 colorless, do blue, enchant it, and you gain control of it. Who doesn't like this? Do you know why? Because planeswalkers are permanents. And I like saying, I take your planeswalkers. That's what this card says to me. Dig it.
Trials and cartouches, man.
Neheb the Worthy. Now there's a BA Minotaur right there for you. Legendary creature, Minotaur Warrior. Black-Red. If you don't own a Black-Red Minotaur deck, go make one. They're fun. Other Minotaur creatures you control have first strike. It has first strike. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, Minotaurs you control get +2/0. Whenever Neheb the Worthy deals combat damage to a player, each player discards a card. This guy's going to do some damage for you. He's going to be putting you over the top in your Minotaur deck, absolutely. You're going to want to run this guy. Very valuable. I do not look forward to meeting him on the battlefield.
My favorite card in this pack, not the Soul Scar Mage, the impeccable timing. 3 damage to attacking or blocking creature. Totally worthwhile. One more pack and then we'll be at the halfway mark and we'll cut to a second video. But summarizing here, Niheb is the highlight if you ask me. I love this fella. And again, you see a lot of the themes across different colors. This is Chris's Wookiee's first package opening, box opening. It's actually my first entire box opening, so we hope you're enjoying it.
You can see we're clearly failing at laying out our cards here for you to continue viewing, but that's all right. We'll keep moving. Cancel, counter target spell. Again, I will draw this all day and be happy about it.
Creating 2 1/1 white warrior creature tokens. I've got a warrior deck. It's like my cleric deck. It's like my, well, spirits can fly at least. But I find that so many decks that I try to make just can't deal with flying. Unless you have expensive stuff, and I don't. Vizier Deferment is okay, but when you exile a creature and then it comes back the next turn, I don't feel like the benefit is strong enough because they're just going to play it again. I know it slows them down, but I'm just usually looking for other things.
I like this as a black combat trick. I know it's just a common, but that +2/0 and put it back on the battlefield tapped, I'll take that all day as a nice removal, catch somebody off guard for 1, I'll take it.
Angler Drake, 6 for a 4/4 flying. I know the Deferment puts them out and they come back, and it's 3 for a 2/2. I guess that's one step towards 6 for a 4/4 flying and returning a creature to its hand.
Do you know what you can embalm? Cards that I exile.
Yep. Temet, Vizier of Noctimun, the 16-year-old Liliana obsessed guard of the city that I cannot remember. The Takrop Elite, I love foils. I still won't use this one, but hey, that's all good. Finished strong here.
I like these guys. I like the exert to unexert to untap here. You know, you exert this guy when he attacks, and when you do, untap all the creatures you control. Very, very useful. When you can start using your exert abilities for essentially nothing, keeping vigilance on them, great ability to have. Very useful card. Cast out. Where's the battlefield? Exile target non-land permanent opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. You've seen these forever in white. I love them forever in white. I enjoy the flash ability and the cycling. I dig this card and will use it and have used it.
Get to the masterpiece, man.
There's not a masterpiece in this deck. It's
you
break
open
your
the
heart.
pack.
But we've got the Sandworm Convergence. Creatures with flying can attack you or planeswalkers you control. At the beginning of your end step, create a 5/5 green worm creature token.
Worm
so
deck.
for
Gotta be a thing.
8, pretty late game, you're probably not going to have too many turns if you're dropping those 5/5s. Creatures with flying can attack you or a planeswalker you control.
That's got
Who
a
doesn't
benefit.
love that?
You ramp with your mana.
I'm going to call it slightly situational. I like it, but if my deck has some weaknesses and I can target those weeknesses, sure.
All
That's
right, we
fine
hit the
all day.
13-minute mark with a foil final reward. It's the final reward of this block here.